In America, everyone counts, and the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Respond today online, by phone, or by mail, and help inform hundreds of billions in funding for education, health programs, and more. Shape your future. Start at 2020census.gov. We are looking at here. Let's go to this here. Go to my email. The Louisville Police Department are preparing for, they've already declared a state of emergency in anticipation of Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron's announcement in the case of Breonna Taylor. What they have done, they have stopped all overtime for police officers. Already they're boarding up buildings there as well in Louisville. There are people who believe, Gary, that what this means is that Daniel Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General, black Republican Attorney General, is going to announce no charges against the 3 officers involved in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor.
You know, that would be unfortunate, to say the least. I am hopeful that that is not what his decision will be. And that's all we really can have at this point is hope until that answer comes. I think that there's been consistent resistance by folks like Tamika Mallory and the whole Until Freedom movement that's been located in Kentucky since this is all popped off. You know, when you look at what Republicans are doing to us in every corner of this country, for people who are not staying locked in and engaged, you know, this is why, right? This is a state attorney general who has the power to decide what we know was an injustice. He has the power to take that before the courts and do something with it. And so it is my hope that he brings charges against these cops because the calls have been clear and justice isn't in that $12 million settlement. Justice is in what the Attorney General of Kentucky does.
Avis, again, so this decision likely is going to come down tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if he actually provides charges. That's why they have called that state of emergency. That's why, quite frankly, it's taken that long. You know, here's the thing I always believe is the truth. It's the truth. You know, it doesn't take long to relay the truth. It takes time to construct a lie. It is no excuse for this announcement to have taken this long unless they were in the process of attempting to construct a lie. We've already seen evidence of that. We've already seen where they had a police report that tried to suggest that there were no injuries. We already saw where they tried to have some sort of deal with her ex-boyfriend to get him to lie, to say that she was involved with his drug dealings. And so they've already shown us, once again, who they are. And I believe people the first time when they do that. So I don't expect any charges tomorrow, but I expect there to be some blowback and righteous blowback to that in terms of demonstrations. And that's exactly what they're preparing for.
Mustafa, they're already putting fencing around areas there. Again, they are anticipating, I mean, it's clear what they're anticipating, there to be a visceral reaction to a decision not to indict the officers. Again, no decision has been announced. People are simply speculating that when you make that sort of announcement, that you are expecting a backlash from the community where the 3 officers will not face charges.
Yeah, and I'm with Gary. You know, I'm hopeful, but I also understand when you put this type of infrastructure in place, there is a reason for that. They know if it was going to be something that was favorable, that people would then, you know, they would not need to continue to protest, and they would not need to, you know, do all the things that are necessary to let folks know that there is displeasure in what has been going on. So I'm real clear. You know, I've been doing this a while, like most of us. And when you put that type of infrastructure in place, there's a reason for it.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Unfiltered video in just one moment. As our community comes together to support the fight against racial injustice, I want to take a second to talk about one thing we can do to ensure our voices are heard. Not tomorrow, but now. Have your voices heard in terms of what kind of future we want by taking the 2020 census today at 2020census.gov? Now, folks, let me help you out. The census is a count of everyone living in the country. It happens once every 10 years. It is mandated by the U.S. Constitution. The thing that's important is that the census informs funding, billions of dollars, how they are spent in our communities every single year. I grew up in Clinton Park in Houston, Texas, and we wanted new parks and roads and a senior citizen center. Well, the census helps inform all of that and where funding goes. It also determines how many seats your state will get in the U.S. House of Representatives. Young black men and young children of color are historically undercounted, which means a potential loss of funding for services that helps our community. Folks, we have the power to change that. We have the power to help determine where hundreds of billions in federal funding go each year for the next 10 years. Funding that can impact our community, our neighborhoods, and our families and friends. Folks, responses are 100% confidential and can't be shared with your landlord, law enforcement, or any government agency. So please, take the 2020 census today. Shape your future. Start at 2020census.gov.